It is going to be worth it when we finally encounter God in heaven and we unite ourselves entirely to Him. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Adri, Adventurous Catholic, and today we are going to be talking about why it is so difficult to be a Catholic today. Let us get started. So I have put together 9 major things that stood out to me when I think of why it is difficult to be Catholic, why it is challenging. Some of these may go hand in hand, others may be a little bit more broad, and I would like to know from you. Let me know down in the comments if you have any other reasons or things that you can think of to share with me. I think being Catholic in this world is like tradition meeting the modern world. Tradition figuring out how to go about life in a very modern culture, which is not all bad, but it can come with its challenges. It can come with its need to understand, need to adapt a little bit, but not compromise to a lot of things. So with that said, I want to begin with the first reason that I think it is difficult to be Catholic today. The first one is that there is a huge push against living out virtuous lives. Our society seems to really promote and live out a very anti-Christian lifestyle. Things that the church has always taught to be wrong since the beginning of time are things that are not only seen as okay now, but even necessary to be a healthy or useful part of our society today. So some things are like contraceptives, birth control, abortion, supporting the LGBTQ community, and feminism. This push is so strong that if you see it as different, then you're the one that needs to change your mentality to get with the times or get with today's age. So because of that, a lot of Catholics that may be well-intentioned fall into these traps and begin to promote these lifestyles as well, and start to also think that we need to be updated or, like I said earlier, get with the times. And so, like I said, there's nothing wrong with modern to a certain extent, because yes, things change, but there needs to be this balance. That is where we need to be very careful and go back to and refer to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, the pillars of the faith, which are the magisterium, sacred tradition, and sacred scripture. We must become educated, if we are not already, educate ourselves on the things that the church teaches first and foremost, and learn to love that first, to be able to approach the world in a holy way, in a virtuous way, and everything else will follow. The second reason I think it is difficult to be a Catholic today in this world is that there is a lot of hate against Catholics because of some things that Catholic leaders have done in the past, or experiences that people have had with other Catholic people in general. So they have these negative experiences, or they've heard all of this negative news perhaps. For example, the scandal of sexual abuse from a lot of priests, or the way that some Catholics treated the native indigenous Americans when the Spanish Inquisition took place. So those are a few of the pretty common examples, common things that I've heard people talk about. So that's another reason it could be very difficult, tough to be Catholic and say it proudly that we believe in Jesus Christ and that we believe in the true Catholic Church that He established, because this makes people think like, what? But you guys stand for this and that. And a very common thing that people will say with this or ask is, doesn't the Bible say that you'll know them by their fruits? They will make themselves think that the church must be wrong because their fruits, which are these Catholic leaders who are doing bad things and sinful acts, which actually goes against the church teaching, doesn't that make the church corrupt? And the answer is no. That is not necessarily the case. If we truly followed the church according to the teachings, the dogma, the doctrine, and everything that it really promotes, then we would all be walking saints. We would all be living holy lives. Those who are bad apples, bad fruits, are so because they are denying certain teachings or they are not fully living the teachings of the church. All right, so the third reason that I've seen in this culture that makes it difficult for people to choose Catholicism is that there are millions, a bunch of religious ideologies all over the world. It can be confusing, it can be difficult because there are all of these different religious beliefs and this huge push for the idea that you can pick and choose whatever you want to believe. Because I know, for example, America has so much religious freedom, this can be good because it allows us to be able to practice our religion freely. This also, unfortunately, opens the ability for people to create whatever religion they want freely. They entitle themselves to the authority that they can pick and choose whatever they believe and call this a new religion. I mean, technically you can pick and choose what you want to believe, but in the eyes of God, we know that it's not all right because there is only one truth at the end of the day, whether you like it or not. All right, so the fourth reason is that people want to see to believe. This is not something new. We can know about this right when Thomas the disciple, for example, wanted to see Jesus' wounds and put his hands in his wounds to really believe that he resurrected. He desired that Jesus reveal himself to him so that he can believe it. Well, hey, Jesus did that. Jesus went and he proved himself to Thomas, but not everyone is so worthy of that. I mean, even Thomas wasn't worthy, but Jesus still did that because he wanted to prove a point. Jesus wanted to show that you, Thomas, right? He told Thomas, you believe now because you have seen, but blessed are those who believe without seeing. We can only imagine how great of a recompense we're going to have if we believe Jesus Christ, even if we don't see him, even in our spiritual dryness, even in the times where we feel like Jesus is not even listening, if we still continue to live about our life believing in Jesus, there is going to be such a great reward. But it definitely makes it challenging to continue to practice your Catholic faith because sometimes we fall into this trap that we want to see to believe. Now, the fifth reason it is difficult to practice your Catholic faith in today's world is that a lot of people think that being religious or practicing your faith will get rid of all of your problems. So then, when they find out that that's actually not true and problems continue to arise, then it's easy to give up because they think that their problems were supposed to go away. So no, in fact, I wouldn't necessarily say that it would bring you more problems, but the holier we become, the more challenges, the more problems arise because God is sanctifying us through that. You're at least able to see them more clearly and you're able to recognize what a certain problem is, and God will give you the grace to make these problems, these challenges, these issues bearable. He's going to give you the grace to get through it, whatever it is. But unfortunately, people want convenience. They want the easy way. They want to not think about their problems anymore. They don't want to face them or confront the issues that they're going through in their lives. So they want something for an escape. And unfortunately for them, Catholicism is not an escape. It's quite the opposite, actually. It's being able to confront the world, the difficulties, the cross with the help of God. Stop settling for what is easy. Pick up your cross and follow Jesus, just like he told us in the Bible. All right, so the sixth reason may actually apply more to younger people, teenagers, youth. If you are like in middle school and high school, this might actually apply more to you. And this is that it can be embarrassing to stand out and be the only Catholic in your friends group. This has even been the case with a lot of adults. Saying that you're Catholic could be whatever to your friends group, but when they start to see that you're actually practicing your faith, that you're actually going to mass every day, it's like a shocker. Like, what? You're like the good girl or the good kid. It's seen as weird or different or unusual to a lot of people who are so infiltrated with this world's sin and vice. Kind of like I was mentioning earlier, there's just so much that it's weird to be different. We need to prioritize our relationship with God over our relationship with our friends. A lot of younger minded individuals will not really understand this because they want to fit in. They want to be like their friends. They want to look good. They want to be popular, or they want to be accepted in their friends groups. Well, if you are a teenager watching this, I hope that you can take this message that I have for you from the bottom of my heart. In 10 years, it's not gonna matter. Your friends, most of your friends, are not gonna reach out to see how you're doing. Trust me on that. Even me in high school, I had this sense of my faith, and I knew I wanted to follow my faith, and I knew that I would be different than my friends for following and practicing Catholicism. But even in that mindset, I thought that in about 10 years from now, I'd still have the same friends that I had at that time. So that is a very common thing to think. So that's why I'm saying this. It does seem a little sad, but it's actually a very good thing. You are not going to want to talk to those friends either. You're going to see the way that they are going about their lives as you all mature, and you're going to see the way that your non-Catholic friends are not only non-Catholic, but anti-Catholic, really going against the church, because that is what our society consists of, unfortunately. A lot of people who just hate Catholicism, hate Christianity in general, and want to make you feel bad for being a person who follows Christ in the way that you do. You don't need that toxicity in your life. Those are just weeds trying to be a distraction from Jesus. Be careful, be vigilant, and stay true to the faith. And you're going to see it'll be worth it. But that is definitely a reason why it is difficult to be Catholic today. And I completely understand that. Now, the 7th reason is something that I've also gone through before. And this is that people who don't understand the faith expect you to explain it to them. If not, then they make you feel bad for being Catholic, or they make you feel like you don't know what's going on and you don't really know the truth because you can't explain it to them. So because of that, we begin to believe that we need to have an explanation for people, or that we owe them an explanation. And if not, then we can beat ourselves up over it and think that we're not good enough for God, and that we really shouldn't be Catholics, or that maybe God doesn't want us to be Catholic. But no, the devil wants to make us overwhelmed by the fact that we don't understand everything about our faith, because we don't. That's the truth. We don't understand it all, and we may not understand it all until after we die. And even then, even in eternity, there are some things that only God knows and we will never know. But we give ourselves this pressure that we have to understand this. And the thing that I think really allowed me to get out of this pressure and out of this mentality was the fact that a lot, if not most, of the saints probably went through the same pressure. We gotta stay strong. Let this encourage us instead to pray for those who don't understand and need an explanation. Sometimes we are not going to be that explanation for them, and that's okay. Doesn't mean that we don't know the truth, and it doesn't mean that we're not following the truth. All right, the 8th reason goes hand in hand with this, and that is that the devil wants to destroy our church. If you feel like this phrase is repetitive, because I know I've said it before in other videos of mine, I am trying to repeat it for the new ones who have never heard this before, because it is just a reality that we cannot escape. Knowing the power of Jesus Christ and the fact that Mary crushed his head, Satan wants to do everything to destroy the church because he is so outraged and angry with God, obviously. I mean, that's why he left the kingdom. And he's doing everything he can to infiltrate the church through the leaders, through the people when we are weaker, he is there trying to work with us so that he can tumble the church down, make it look bad in the eyes of society, because he knows that that is the true church that Christ established. So if anything, this should only encourage and motivate us to keep on going. But it is a reality, and it does make it difficult for a lot of people to stay true to the faith. You need to know that at the end of the day, God is stronger and he has the upper hand. And if he wanted, right now at this moment, Satan would cease to exist. But God is allowing it for something. He believes in you. He believes in me. He believes in us. And he knows and has faith that we are going to look to him and trust in him. Finally, my 9th reason why I feel it is very difficult to be a Catholic in today's world is because if it were easy, everybody would do it. It's like a business. If it was easy, everybody would start a business. Everybody would be financially stable. Nobody would worry about it anymore. Or like exercise. If it were easy, everybody would walk around in good shape. Or like eating. If it were easy, everybody would go about a very healthy lifestyle with no health problems. And a lot of diseases, a lot of things will just not exist right now. But that is just not the case, because it isn't all easy. Faith is not easy. But at the end of the day, it is worth it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button down below, subscribe for more content like this. God bless you all, stay faithful my friends, and I will see you all next week. It is going to be worth it when we finally encounter God in heaven and we unite ourselves entirely to him. That's all my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. Leave a comment down below, please, with maybe more reasons you have noticed it's difficult to be a Catholic, or with some of your own thoughts on anything that I said. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button down below, subscribe for more content like this. God bless you all, stay faithful my friends, and I will see you all next week.